In this video, I interviewed my coaching student Aaron on how he was able to do 50K in sales his first 2 months as a completely brand new Amazon seller. It's a great case study in how to grow this stuff the right way. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. And if you're interested in working directly with me to scale up for Q4, now is a fantastic time to apply for my coaching program, which I'll leave a link down below in the description too. Let's get right into the video. What's up, Aaron? Thanks for joining me, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So we're going to dig into the science of rapid growth as an Amazon seller, right? But prior to just getting into it, you just want to kind of introduce yourself, where you're from, how old you are, and then your results so far.
Yeah, my name's Aaron. 0 day handle time on Twitter. I'm 22 years old from Southern Indiana. My first sale was September 8th. I'm a little bit over 60K now in sales, and I'm looking forward to December.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And then what made you want to get into selling on Amazon?
What made me want to get into selling to Amazon was just the fact it's really one of those jobs that you kind of get out what you put in, and if you do it right, you can control your time, and you can really do it from anywhere too if you get to that level. And I love traveling the world. That's like my favorite thing is traveling. So I hope to get to that point where I can do this and travel.
Sure, and you can get set up with a prep center, obviously, eventually. Right now, I know you're doing a lot of FBM and such. So, can you talk about, okay? So let's dig into the current operation, right? So, some people imagine to do those types of numbers fast, needing whether it be like virtual assistants, prep center, some big fancy operation. Dig into exactly what your day to day looks like in terms of running this stuff up currently.
Man, my day to day is just a bunch of boxes stacked up around the house. One table, I pack up all the FBM orders. I'm like 95% FBM, and just talking daily with my group. We don't just talk about Amazon selling. We talk about literally everything, like from the time we wake up to the time we go to bed. I mean,
Sure. So talk about why FBM's been really helpful, because a lot of people have limiting beliefs around whether it's FBM being too much work or FBM not really being feasible.
FBM's good. One, it's the quickest way to turn over your cash, especially RA with FBM, especially in store pickups. I know you talk about that a lot. With FBM, you just learn a lot quicker too. Like if you do OA to FBA, it's going to be weeks before you get any feedback. But if you do RA and FBM or even OA and FBM, you learn a lot quicker what works, what doesn't work. And if you're in a group, you're not just testing by yourself. You got other people testing. So everybody's talking about, hey, this works. Hey, this don't work. Um, Everybody starting out should do FBM, I
Sure.
think.
And especially this time of year, guys, right? We're filming this in late November. FBM season is just getting started, right? From about December 5th to like January 5th, January 15th, there's a lot less competition on products because very, very few people are sending in new FBA inventory right now because a lot of the warehouses get a lot like backed up and stuff. So if you buy a product today, November 29th, and it delivers December 1st, you're going to know whether or not that was a good purchase by like December 3rd or December 4th, right? Meanwhile, if you buy something, especially OA and then FBA, right, you buy it from a big website, you ship it to yourself, you're not going to know if that was a good purchase till like December 10th, 15th, or maybe even 20th, right? So what you can do is it's not just that first purchase that's really, really profitable. It's the subsequent restock order when you buy more, because a lot of you guys are worried about going deep on different products. And I don't think it makes any sense to go deep on stuff until you've already tested it. But with FBM, you're able to get feedback a lot quicker as well, which is so beneficial. Okay. And then talk about, okay, how much money did you start with? And then what's been the strategy of capital acquisition? Because obviously this is an inventory based business, so it does take a lot of capital to get results quick.
So I started with about 5,000, in between $5,000 and $6,000, and a $300 secured limit credit card, and like that was it. Through my parents, I was able to get some of their personal credit, which wasn't much, but I was able to get them to co-sign me for an Amex, and that is really what helps me take off with my growth.
Exactly. And like getting creative, obviously, I know there was some negotiation involved with that.
Oh man, it was weeks. It was weeks. Like I remember in Billy's video on YouTube, he said he made a whole PowerPoint to show his parents. Like, dude, it took a lot of convincing, but I was able to get it done.
Well, exactly, right? And you get creative and you're heavily rewarded for getting creative, right? Another thing you've done really well that I think was huge for me or that I know was really, really big for me was the actual networking side of things in the Amazon community. Most people kind of aren't sure if that's a really, really big thing. They hear me talking about it all the time. But can you talk about how the Amazon community, networking, making friends with other sellers has been really beneficial?
It's helped me way more than I can imagine. Like for starters, in the beginning, I was not able to meet my spend goals. I was not able to find enough products, sourcing myself to spend my capital. And I know that's a common thing. People hit me up, hey, I'm having trouble sourcing, having trouble sourcing. Me personally, like half of the products I buy, I didn't even find. It's someone in my group, they sent to me. So if I don't find nothing, it's cool because someone in my group did. Or if someone in my group don't find nothing, I found something and we all share it, we all go in. And not only just sharing leads, but also sharing sourcing methods, sharing information in regards to, hey, this website works. Hey, this website's bulk friendly. Hey, here's a tip. It's just the network is so important.
Yeah, and it's no coincidence that like all the best basketball players spend a lot of time talking and playing and etc. with other basketball players, right? All the best real estate agents spend time talking to other real estate agents, right? Because you start to learn a lot of the nuance, right? The more you do it, and you're someone who's really really new, and a lot of you guys watching this video are really new to this space. It's a young space in general. It's only been around, 10 20 like 10 years pretty much, right? And pretty much everyone is just in their first couple years. So logically it makes a lot of sense to overcompensate to counteract that, right? And have as many conversations as possible. But how do you actually get in the Amazon community and start to meet people? Because pretty much everyone wants to, but very very few people are successful with it. So what does that actually look like to dive deep into the Amazon community?
All right. So for starters, I was a ghost account on Twitter. I didn't have a profile picture. I wasn't posting. And I was kind of mad because I wasn't meeting people. So from Flips for Miles content and Billy Flips content, I gained the inspiration to start posting. After I posted my first video, I got an invite. First of all, it blew up. I got a bunch of retweets, favorites. I see that a lot. Like Jules is a good example. Like he anyway, posted my first video. Through that video, I got a DM to join my first group. After joining that first group, I met all the people in that group and later ended up joining another group with someone I met from there. And it's just been a snowball effect. Ever since that video got posted, I mean, at this point, I have too many people trying to network. It's a good problem, but everything, all of my network success can be traced back to that one video and being active on Twitter and Discord.
It's so interesting how those little things like really tweak everything. But now you've obviously really, really gone hard further with that. You're at all the coaching calls. You're coming on stream with me. We're doing stuff like this and everything, and it moves so quick. Like you look at probably, I mean, I don't know this, but how different your day to day life is compared to 3 months ago.
So different. So I would have never imagined. Like,
Yeah, and it's legit just believing in yourself and getting after every day with a boatload of consistent hard work and effort. So getting into December here, this is really the meat and potatoes of the entire year, right? Some people do 30, 40, 50% of their annual revenue just in December. So being someone that's completely new to your first December, what are your plans? What do you expect? And let's talk through some strategies that everyone watching can use.
so, real quick, I'll mention shout out to the FBM Cup. Follow them on Twitter if you're not already. FBM_Cup. It's a competition between me and the Towels and a squad, my squad against the Towels, a squad out of PA. There's also other things for the public. So follow them on Twitter. Check that out. But my goal for December is 100K. I think it's definitely possible, especially with the network and the capital that I'm gonna have. It's gonna be 95% FBM. I got a lot of products I could send FBA, but who knows when they would check in. So it's 95% FBM and sticking to stuff that's worked for me in the past, and I'm just going deeper on it. I
Yeah,
think I think some of the best advice I got as a beginner was go wide, not deep, so you can find out what really works. So I'm just going deep on what works.
exactly, right? And you have to test a lot to get that proof of concept. The nice thing is like stuff gets really, really easy all the way through January. So even if you're watching this now, you're completely new. You can sell auto ungate products while you're getting the big auto ungates done, then storefront stock, find additional links. and such from there. Other tactical things in terms of actual December growths, right? So the nice thing is you can adjust on the fly like crazy during Q4, right? So say you want to do 100K rev, 20,000 prop, which is obviously a boatload of effort, but it's very doable, right? I did about 80 last Q4, right? So let's say your average profit's $10 per unit, right? So you got to sell 2,000 units, right? 2,000 times 10, 20,000, right? So you only got to do 60 sales a day. You've had, what's your biggest day? Like 300 units in one day before.
Almost, yeah. It was almost. It was.
Exactly, right? And it's just legit. The work works. You just got to do it. It's sitting there waiting, right? Other tactical FBM stuff. So, a lot of you guys are worried about getting the buy box FBM. The nice thing is that if you have enough products listed, you will get consistent sales. Other things you can do to get further FBM sales is you want to explain what 0-day handling is?
0-day handling. If you don't know how to set it up, go to your settings on Amazon Seller
Yep.
Central, the
Shipping
top right gearbox, shipping settings, not the shipping template. Go to general settings, and then turn it on 0 days. That will for sure help your buy box. The way I like to look at it, if you're buying something on Amazon, are you going to buy something that delivers to you on Thursday or something that delivers to you on Tuesday? It just helps you stay more competitively priced within the buy box.
Yep. So that's really, really important. The nice thing is you actually don't have to do that forever, and that a lot of you guys are going to be overwhelmed with orders, which makes my heart so warm. You're going to go to 2-day handling once December hits, because the nice thing is there's such low competition in December. You don't even really need the fancy handling time, honestly. But do that initially just to get your account churning in the buy box algorithm. Just understand you do have to ship same day if it's prior to your cutoff time. That extra effort is so important to get that proof of concept and such. And the nice thing is you're not really going to need to do that in subsequent years. You pretty much only have to do it in your first year, from my experience, depending on ASINs and such. You also want to be using an automated repricing software, which my tutorial and affiliate link for that's in the description if you do want to get set up with BCool as well, which is really, really important. And then overall, the nice thing is that you guys see we do lots of podcasts, we do lots of streams with different people on the channel. This stuff completely works, right? And you have the chance to completely change your life with a ton of consistent effort and a lot of retail arbitrage, pick up orders if you can, a lot of online arbitrage, a lot of Cyber Monday sales, early holiday sales are still going on. There's so much opportunity to storefront stock different sellers as well. And especially if you see someone's FBMing something, one, that listing is probably FBM friendly. And two, they probably have other listings that are FBM friendly as well that they're on that you can go ahead and source for. And you got to understand that if someone else is selling it, they're doing it to make money, especially if they've been on it for a while or recently got on it. It's probably profitable. You just have to go ahead and find it as well. Any other tips for beginners in terms of finding success quickly with the stuff like you have?
Man, I've watched enough of these to know everybody says the same thing, but it's really the network. Like, it's really who you talk to on a daily basis. If you're not in a group chat, you got to find yourself a way into one. And you do that by existing on the internet. A good way that I met people through Twitter is I followed people and I would either DM them, a compliment, or I would DM them maybe a helpful tip. You just got to put yourself out there. Half the time people aren't going to respond,
And
but the ones that do, you will build beautiful relationships.
yeah, and that's what was cool is like I know you and Gavin hung out within like 72 hours of meeting each other, right?
Yeah, no, I met him through a mutual friend, and 3 days later, we were at the Nike outlet.
Yep, in
It
Indiana.
was a really good experience. So
Yeah, and by the way, so Indiana people watching this, right? So Indiana's on the come up. Indiana is breaking into the top 10 Amazon seller state power ranking. So I need all my Indiana people to hit Aaron up, right? Because you guys are building something special in Indiana. Right there. So guys, appreciate it. Make sure you guys go follow Aaron on Twitter. You can DM him. You can DM me if you have any questions. We want to make sure you guys get the best results possible this Q4. And thanks for coming on, Aaron.
thanks for having me.
Absolutely, guys. Have a great one. Thanks for watching.